I'll transition from here into my next to teach you how to get free energy from the grid. If you're connected to the grid, how to get free solar power and how we ended up there. So when doing the property developments, I got asked from a vendor, just, hey Mike, can you look at this property down in Wauchope, New South Wales? You know, I'm from Lismore, it's sort of down in Port Macquarie, if you know that at all. They asked me to have a look at this property and they wanted to see what they could do with it. And it's actually a really cool property. It had flood down the bottom, so you know we could put dams and stuff down there, and it's right in the middle of town. I love being off grid in the middle of town, so that's my thing. I think it's great. Like what David Holgram's done, you know, he's in 2.5 acres. I wish I could find 2.5 to 7 acres right in the middle of town to be self-sufficient. So I got asked to consult on this property, and we had a look at it. And one thing I learned when I did my property developers course, they talk about keys. It's all about keys on the property, as many keys on the property as possible. And this client that I was working with were very sustainable. They wanted to do it right. They were permaculture people, and they wanted to make the most out of this. So, but it was a profitable venture, is what they wanted to do. The other thing we really started looking at, and I already knew a lot of this information, but we looked at energy as well. So, anyone here got Amber Electric? No, anyone heard of Amber Electric? Yep. So I explained a bit how that works. So we looked at power. So on your power bill, there's about 1,000 different charges that you never ever see. You just get a round figure and that's what you pay. Well, there's two fees you normally see in your power bill. Is your metering fees and then the all-in-one kilowatt hour fee. Understand that? There's actually about 1,000, I'm not joking, there's so many different fees that go in and make up your kilowatt hour per rate, crazy. So what we did, we looked at it and thought, right, if everyone's got a meter in their house, we can start saving, because now these days in New South Wales, I know what's saying Vic here, but in New South Wales it used to be $1 a day pretty much for your connection to the network, for the metering. It's now $5 when you install solar. So if you put solar up, your daily service charge goes from $1 to $5 per day. And it's not just going to be solar people. The reason they're doing that is because of the smart meters. It's the cost, and because the smart meter people get that money, not you. So when everyone goes, oh, bloody Origin Energy or Energy Australia, whatever, they're actually not getting that money. That money goes to the people that read the meters. So we looked at that there and thought, okay, well, the meter read, we get rid of the meter and everyone has one connection to the property. And we can do that because one of the biggest things that they freak out about is supplying everyone the demand, peak power and all that sort of stuff. So we looked at putting solar up and batteries and running a little bit of a micro, good bit of a community. Does that make sense? And share the resources, because then it was one connection point. So we're saving $5 per day for everyone's house. You know, you times that by 10 years. There is stuff, and when you get rid of energy meters, you can put private meters. There's so much stuff that you can do in. There's a terminology you'll hear, embedded networks, which is like private metering behind the meter. And that's where we really started looking at this peer-to-peer stuff. And I'll tell you a story about how my family, when I say my family, I mean, I live in, is anyone from New South Wales here? Yep. So I live near the Queensland border. My mum lives in Port Macquarie, Kempsey, halfway down the coast, and all the rest of my family live on the edge of Sydney in the Central Coast. So we're all separated. So when I talk about my family and we share energy, this is what I'm talking about. So when I started going down the path and looking about sharing energy and how we could do this, we found a platform. And so with this platform, it's peer-to-peer energy. So you change your energy retailer, you just go, right, Origin Energy Australia, go, get out of here. And I remember when the guy in Jatinder, so 5 years ago we talked about this, he called me up and said, Mike, just imagine this. Imagine driving from Lismore down to your mum's house in Kempsey, plugging your car in and using your power from your house in Lismore. I'm like, that'd be awesome. And 5 years ago, it was probably 6 years ago, Jatinder called me up and we had that conversation. And it was only 2 years ago, we went live on the network. So it was funny money, we were playing around with stuff and it was all pretend. But 2 Christmases ago, I got in my Tesla, I drove down to my mum's in Kempsey and I got there and I plugged it in and I forgot I had to reprogram my energy at home on the account to say, look, my mum's allowed to have my solar for free for the next 10 days I'm living here. So the first day didn't go too successful, I paid for the bloody thing. So, but the next day I literally jumped on and just did a sell order and said, right, you know, for the next 10 days, Vicky can buy all my energy for free at 0 cents. And that, you know, so I can set the buy and sell between whatever the price is. So when I was at my mum's charging my car, no one's at home at my house because I'm on holidays. I've got a 25 kilowatt solar system. I've got 60 kilowatt hours of battery storage sitting there doing nothing. It gave me the ability to ship that solar, technically, down to my mum's and use it. Does that make sense? Now, it doesn't get shipped over lines or magic or anything like that. It's just billing on the back end. That's all it is. Yeah, so it's just a platform that just makes billing on the back end that I just log in and control and change things, so it allows me to do that. So I also do the rest for the rest of my family. So my brother's got a big solar system. I'm the only one that's got batteries. Now, you know, what the guys from Commodore were saying before, you know, is it about money or is it about saving money? Or being self-sufficient or saving money? The reality is batteries don't make sense financially. I'm all about being self-sufficient. That's what I want to do, you know? So batteries for me make sense. I work in the industry. I don't pay for them anyway. I get them all for free. So why not? Put them in, you know? So what I do with my battery power overnight, so the reason I bring up Amber Electric, what Amber Electric do, Amber Electric's game is all about buying low, selling high. It's a bit like the stock market. How I use the software that we use, I'm just about looking after my family, knowing that every night when my brother, because he's a nightmare for using air conditioners, every night my brother's using aircon, I'm putting the energy back into the grid and technically paying for his power bill. I charge him for it, don't I give it to him free. So